Welcome to the Rusty Hook Kayak Fishing Podcast, bringing you fishing tips, gear reviews, tournament news, and more. Featured guests from all over the nation. Now, 1 hour of live streaming via Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. Here's your host, John Rapp.
All right, welcome to the Rusty Hook Kayak Fishing Podcast. Tonight's episode is episode 22. We are going to talk about wet weather fishing gear. Got a couple guys in the background who experienced some extremely seriously wet weather this past weekend. Currently, I'm dry here on location at the Tractor Bar and Grill here in Mount Nebo. It's a beautiful day, but 3 days ago when we were all here, we were wet and it was nasty. So the two guys that I have tonight are the guys that actually placed first and second on the last event. And that was Mark Edwards, who's no one stranger to him. He seems to be in the top 1, 2, or 3 in every event he fishes in West Virginia and beyond. But we got a new face and a newcomer to the show today, and that's Brian Kennedy from up in Morgantown. Brian finished second, just a couple points behind Mark, but he did have the big bass of the event. Won some money there too, with a big fat 17.5-inch smallmouth. So, without further ado, no Chris Payne tonight. Chris sent a message in, said that he had a meeting he had to go to that was just a spontaneous type thing, so he wasn't able to make it. So let's go get Brian Kennedy from Morgantown. Hey buddy, you're on the show. Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Hey buddy.
Hey,
I thank you for taking a few moments out of your time, showing us that beautiful background you got behind the house there, and talking a little bit about kayak fishing. So Brian, you're no stranger to West Virginia Kayak Anglers. You've been with us for about 3 years. Tell us a little bit about you and what got you into kayak fishing.
Well,
I believe I lost your audio, buddy.
you hear me?
I can hear you now. Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay. Yeah, I used to just fish the bank all the time and got my first little sun dolphin at Dick's, like $200 kayak. Kind of fished that for a while and just fell in love with it.
Are you holding your camera, or is it the audio keeps going in and out? I'm wondering if it's a signal or. Yeah, you yeah, you might want to talk slow and stuff. You know, some of these boys, some of these guys down way south West Virginia, southern West Virginia, so we can catch you, man. So, hey, so tell us, you've been fishing for 3 years. I heard that we did catch that. What are you currently fishing out of? Do you feel like that is making a difference in your fishability right now? Good deal, good deal. So what do you outfit your Hobie with, or your Bonafide, when you're out fishing? What do you carry? What are your accessories and things like that? Nice. I hear you. That's nice. You know, when you're an old guy like me, you got to have them big screens to look at too, you know. So, yeah, that's nice. So, you carry 3 rods on the Hobie, or do you carry more? 4 to 5. So, how are they dressed up? I got you. So, second place was 75 inches, 75 and a half. Okay. So, what made you successful out there? What were you fishing? Were you fishing deep ledges? Were you, your style of fishing? And maybe share with us how you caught your big 17 and a half inch smallie. Okay, nice. Okay, interesting. So, did you stay dry? I hear you. Well, tell us a little bit about what your wetsuit is that you were wearing. What now? Does that have a hood? Was you wearing a hood to keep the water from running down your back?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I hear you. I hear you, buddy. Well, outstanding. So the topic here is wet weather gear. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna put you in the background, and I'm gonna go get our winner on here. Bring Mark in, introduce him, talk a little bit about his day real quick. And then we'll bring both of you back on, and we'll talk about some stuff. So hang tight, brother. Hey, guys, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Custom soft plastic maker. Check out our reviews and products at our website, payneoutdoors.com.
Feel free kayaks, something for everyone. Pedal, paddle, or power. We can outfit you to meet your needs. For more information, visit feelfreeus.com.
Yak Gadget offers all kinds of kayak accessories such as motor mounts, anchor systems, and other track-based items to make your time more enjoyable on the water. Visit their Facebook page, search Yak Gadget.
Coogan Brothers Custom Tackle specializes in jigs and Ned-style lures. Brothers who know what it takes to put fish in the boat. Check out their Facebook page. Search Coogan Brothers Custom Tackle.
All right, we're back. I'm going to turn the volume back up here. I guess I was trying to adjust some volume here. Hopefully we got some good volume for you fellas out there. Joe, Heath, Joe, Randy, appreciate you guys throwing up some info for us there. Hey, Mark, let's bring you on. Do some chatting with us. And then, guys, if y'all hear Marky okay, let us know. Mark.
Hey, can y'all hear me good?
It's showing good on the desktop audio, but I turned it down a little bit there a minute ago because Brian was pretty loud. Heath says, "What's up, Marky Mark? Mark, tell us how you, our professional angler in West Virginia, keep smacking us guys around in beautiful weather, cold weather, deep water, shallow water, Bluestone Lake, Stonewall Jackson, now Summersville Lake. Anywhere you go, top 5. This year so far at Stonewall, you finished 3rd, and now you finished number 1 in the point standings. But I am trying to breathe down your neck, brother. But the way you're smacking us around, that's not. I mean, I can tell you're fishing angry. I can tell. Last year, 2nd place for Angler of the Year. I think the year before you were 2nd place for Angler of the Year.
No, I won it the year before.
Oh, did you? Okay, you won it the year before. But I know you've
been 2nd every other time.
Yeah, you've been fishing angry, so it's obvious that you got a chip on your shoulder the way you're coming out and smacking us around. So, for the folks out there that might not know Mark Edwards from West Virginia, that live under a stump, tell us a little bit about what you fish out of and how you fish.
I mainly fish out of a native Titan 12-foot. And the reason I do, I got a Torpedo on it, got it registered and stuff. I got some other native kayaks that I use on the river. They're smaller, lighter, and not as stable, which on the river, you don't need, I'm not saying you don't need the stability, but you need maneuverability more than the, but the Titan, man, is what I fish out of 90% of the time, just because of the stability. It's 39 inches wide, and I carry a lot of gear. I carry too much gear, but
that goes into right into my next question, brother. It goes right into my next question. Was it 10, 12, or 18 poles this tournament?
Honestly, I went with 12. That's my limit. But I don't think I threw more than 5.
Okay.
I really don't think I threw. Maybe 5 or 6 is all I've touched.
Now, like Brian was talking, for setup wise, when you come to Summersville, do you bring more finesse or do you still bring your power stuff?
Yeah, finesse. I've been catching some mag draft, and so I did throw it around quite a bit actually, but I never seen a follower or anything on it. But I finessed. All my fish come on 2 baits, Z-Man, TRD.
Right.
And what happened was, I just try to catch fish at every event.
Right.
You got to get a limit. You know what I'm saying? So I go for a limit at every event. And I'm just fortunate at Summersville that every fish I caught was almost female. They were ready to pop. I caught one largemouth that was peeing, male largemouth. But other than that, the rest of them was all female smallmouth. They were all ready to pop.
I got you.
But I caught them really shallow. Real shallow. Like some of them wasn't in 2 foot of water.
Yep.
But it was crazy. I knew the water was coming up. I checked the water level when I first got there. When I got the boat unloaded at the ramp, I checked the water level, and it went up 2.6 feet in the last 24 hours.
Yeah.
And the day before, it went up a foot something. It rained the day before, too. And I didn't realize how much water was coming in. I don't think any of us realized how much water was coming in. It was crazy. I didn't notice the water was really coming up like it was until 11. It was 11:20, I think. I actually screenshotted. I actually was making a move across McKees Creek. I fished up in McKees.
Okay.
And it's really wide. It's a big creek. And I was going to the other side of it, and I checked. I was like, man, that water level has come up. And I checked it, and at that time it'd come up 5.3 feet, I think, in the last 24 hours. So that means in the last 5 hours it had come up 3+ feet,
Yeah.
which was insane. You know, while we've been on the water.
That
But at the
size of
end
a
the day,
lake.
it's
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's 2,800 acres. So it's our biggest lake in the state. And you could watch it come up. I mean, it was coming up so fast, you could almost watch it. And
Well, yeah, Philip says here, he just made a post that we were getting 30K cubic feet per second was the peak inflow. That's crazy.
38.
Was it
38. I got
38?
a screenshot of 38.
Okay, wow. That's insane.
Yeah, and the outflow was like 3,000.
Yeah.
It was fucking silly.
Awesome.
I heard Sunday, was it Sunday? It was up 3 feet above Summer Pool.
Yeah, it was. Beth went down and took photographs of it, but yesterday evening she went down and it had already dropped probably 1.5 feet. So they're releasing enough water to bring it back down. So it'll be good for the tournaments this weekend.
Yeah,
Okay,
but the main thing
Go ahead.
for my success is it ain't really the baits as much as understanding what the fish are doing at the time we're there and fishing the weather conditions and having a real open mind and not getting stuck on something, you know.
Right.
Like Summersville, I don't really like it, to be honest with you. I think I struggle. So like the first year I got a limit, but one of them was a red eye.
Right.
And last year I got second place, and I lost probably 6 fish. And what I done after that, I had a medium light St. Croix.
Right.
Really nice rod, you know what I'm saying? It was a 6.6. It's really, you know, kind of short. I bought it for trout fishing. And then, you know, the Ned, you know, is real big, so I just started using it as a Ned pole. Well, then I lost a bunch of fish up there, and I was, you know, I got to do something about losing all these fish.
Right.
So what I done was I ended up buying a longer rod, and I ain't got no room in here. I bought a 7. This is a 7.3.
Mojo glass.
It's a Dobbins.
Oh, okay.
Medium light. But with it being longer, it definitely gets a better hook in them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I know it flexes where it's a medium light, but I don't lose half the fish, not near the fish now. And honestly, I mean, I had an 8-pound line on there, but I keep the drag pretty tight. I mean, if you'd have seen where I was throwing it at, it was really ridiculous. I mean, I only lost one, and it was a largemouth. But I was actually throwing my Ned, which I got it on a weedless head, and that might be some of the reason that
Yeah.
This is actually, but you can see the little weed guard here. I don't know if you can see the weed guard.
Barely, but we can see it. Your fingers on. Yeah. It's good. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're titanium. See how they go down?
Uh-huh.
I don't know if you noticed that, but man, my hookup ratio. I mean, the hookup ratio is really, really good with it. They're expensive little heads, but
Yeah. Who makes those? If you can recommend them.
Picasso.
Picasso. Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet.
And I was throwing it. I mean, I caught my first 3 keepers out of the back of little pockets. I would catch one out of the back of a pocket, and then just run to the next pocket. Caught the first 3 pockets. I caught 3 fish and lost them.
Hey,
The
Philip
third
was.
pocket,
Philip wants to know, is that Picasso as in the painter, Picasso? Picasso?
I think so.
Okay.
I don't know.
Well, make sure
Man,
make
that's
sure.
a good question. Me spelling, man. I can't
Yeah.
spell.
Hey,
that.
make sure they know that you're sending business their way, brother.
Yeah, Fishing Online used to carry them. They don't have them anymore. Which I've been throwing this for 3 or 4 years, but with a longer rod, it definitely, my hookup ratio is really, really good now.
Good deal.
And like I said, I was flipping this. I mean, I was throwing it. You know how in the back of them pockets gets a lot of trash,
Right.
when you can't even get your kayak back in there.
Right.
Yeah, I was flipping it in that and getting. You know, my first 2 was 14 inches. One of them was, I don't know, 14 even, 14 and a quarter. The second one was 14 and 3/4. then that's crazy to get it out of that brush.
But
you know, I mean,
did you have to drag them across the garbage to get them to the boat?
oh yeah, I mean it was.
That had to be scary.
I don't worry about it. I mean, you're just going to lose some. Like my third pocket I went into actually had a little bit of laydowns in the water where it was 6 foot low to start with. There were no laydowns hardly in the water on the bank I chose, you know. So this one I was going in the back, and there was a laydown right before the back of the pocket, and I had a largemouth, and I'd set the hook, and he come flopping out, and he just flopped off, which it happens, you know.
Right.
It is what it is. But 5 minutes later, I had my third keeper in less than 35 minutes, probably.
Outstanding.
And it was a.
Did you get wet?
12 something.
Did you get wet?
No.
So tell us what you were wearing.
Okay. For my, I had bibs. It's a striker adrenaline suit, and so I had them on, and then I had waders over top of them.
Okay.
So I actually had some.
So you were double insulated.
Yeah, on the bottom side, because they're waist waders. So if I wear my Sims jacket, which I've had my Sims jacket now for like 5 years.
Right.
Actually, Ace. When I bought my kayak from Ace 5 years ago, I guess it was an ugly collar because it's it's yellow. It's just butterscotch and ugly.
Yeah.
And it was like a $400 some jacket for half cost.
Yep.
So I was like, I have had that trouble out, when I fish bass boats all the time. My rain gear lasting a year or two, paying $100 some for a jacket, it lasts a year or two and then it's leaking. So I seen that opportunity and I took advantage, I bought me something nice.
Yep.
And it doesn't leak at all. But now it's cumbersome. It's got a real big hat on it, and Stonewall tournament was, it was really bad conditions too.
Right.
And I didn't wear a hat. I was like, why do I need to wear a hat? It's rain all day. Well, I put that over my head. Well, it kept falling, covering my eyes and stuff, and it was so aggravating. I had, being comfortable on the water helps you out.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
That hurt me at Stonewall, but the rain didn't bother me at all. Just it was frustrating. And I had to tie a lot of knots. You can't really tell, but I don't have hardly any line left on this thing. I mean, I probably ain't got like 30 yards left. I've retied my line like 5 times. It just, I didn't get my Ned straight, I don't think, and it was twisting on me. So my braided line just kept knocking up, which I never had trouble before.
I got you. All right, so Sims. Well, I caught hell for not wearing my Sims jacket because I wore something, one of my generic ones, and I got wet. But I was wearing my big old straw hat with holes in it, and the water just ran down the back of my neck, and I got soaked.
That's an issue. Yeah, your back of your neck, and see, I wore just my waders and then the big jacket, and it comes down below my waist. But when you're sitting in a kayak, the water runs down your back, and then it got in between my waders and stuff. So that's why I wore my bibs. But the thing is, with quality rain gear, it's got Gore-Tex in it.
Yes.
And Gore-Tex is expensive.
Yes.
I mean, if you've got Gore-Tex, you're paying a premium fee. But it's worth it if you're going to be on the water like we was all day and stuff.
I agree.
I might have been the only one that was dry. I mean, I don't know.
You looked pretty dry. I know I was wet. Luckily for me,
I kind of felt wet. You know what I'm saying? Because you were cold. Because it wasn't very warm. But when I got to the tractor bar and took everything off, I was like, man, I'm still dry.
Well, that's your moisture. Your body's moisture was being trapped too. So, Kyle Struther, I think it would have been better if I jumped in the water to acclimate myself to Summersville. Yeah, Kyle, I hear you, buddy. Hey, let's do a double screenshot here. I'm gonna remove myself from this video. Brian, we got you back on screen, bro. So I'm going to give you the opportunity here. I'm trying to pull up my video here so I can cancel that out and keep just you guys on here. Let's see. Show. So, Brian, now that we got audio, tell everybody again what you fish out of.
Recently just got a Hobie PA12. So I've been fishing out of that for maybe 2 months. Hasn't been too long.
Outstanding. And how many rods did you carry this event?
I carried 5 for this one.
Now, we were talking to Mark here, and he like you, went a little bit on the finesse side compared to his normal power carry. So apparently, we all know Summersville being a deep lake, you have to get it down to the fish. So, topic here, guys, today. We're 25 minutes into the video. We got 7 people watching. We got Garrett Hott, Kyle Struther, Philip Backus, Heath Mullins. They're ones that are showing on my screen at the moment. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. We are talking about wet weather gear. And if you guys, a lot of us got on Mikey Holcomb's post, and we're chatting with him. He had a big post. It says, "Fishing friends, what's everybody's favorite rain gear that actually works? Price doesn't matter." And there was quite a few, 66 people commented on that. And it looked like, Mark, everybody agrees with us that Sims was probably one of the ones mentioned the most. You might have mentioned it on there.
I did.
And you mentioned the Gore-Tex too. So let's talk about that. Now, our outer shell, no doubt, I think we can agree, you got to have something that's got some type of Gore-Tex. What are you guys wearing underneath? What do you? I know, Mark, you mentioned you doubled up. Brian, did you double up too, or was you just?
I didn't. No, I just had the bibs. I kind of had like a thermal base layer, a sweatshirt, and then the outer shell.
Okay, I was almost. I would say that I was the same way. I had one of those special pants that have like a rain, almost like with the NRS boots. It's not it's kind of like a rubberish, reflective material on the top. I wore those underneath. But boys, I'm gonna tell you, old Johnny Boy's got soaked to the core. He got home and he had to peel everything off. Peel it off. I was soaked. So, guys out there, if y'all were soaked, make some comments. Tell us about what y'all wear, and I'll let the guys know, and they can give you some feedback on that. So, Brian, you what about your shirt? Did you wear anything under your jacket? It was waterproof.
I just had No, I didn't. Just the jacket. I assumed it would do the trick, but it did not.
Marky?
I had just a regular fishing shirt, like a silk shirt,
right,
with a hoodie, they call it lithium hoodie, but just a hoodie, then their jacket. Cause the jacket's a heavy duty, and the adrenaline bibs I have is really light duty. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But, the adrenaline stuff isn't cheap at all, so that's the reason I ain't got a matching jacket. You know, the sim still works, and I'm all about functionality. I'm not more on what I look like.
Oh, definitely. When you're fishing, it ain't about being pretty. It's about when you come and collect that check, ain't it, Mark?
That's right.
Brian, you guys collected a check. You up there looking all snazzy. You were dry, mostly. Mark was, anyway. Anyway, let's take a look at these comments, guys. I'm going to read off a few of them here. Huck, Shannon Rubel. Huck kept me dry all day yesterday. Mikey Holcomb said, for reference, I've used Huck, Columbia, Frog Talks, Carhartt, and none of them hold up for more than a season. So Patrick Randolph jumped on. He said, I think what hurts kayakers in rain gear is sitting. It pulls on us instead of beating and rolling off because of gravity from standing. That's how Gore-Tex works.
Probably true.
Yeah. It's supposed to be bead and roll away. Short of a poncho, I don't think anything will work long term for kayakers. And Yeah, Mitch Evans, Blackfish gear. The Aspire is awesome. You stay dry. Nathan Reese, Sims Pro. Mark Moran. So far, I really like the Sims CX gear. I've only had it for a couple months. And Kevin Ross. He stated he has the BPS 100 MPH Gore-Tex bibs and jacket for 15 plus years. Still keeps him dry. And Gary Ross agreed with that. Greg Harper posted he likes his AFTCO Hydronaut rain gear, but it's heavy to wear in warm and hot weather. Marky, there's your post about the Sims Challenger jacket. So yeah, so I think we can all pretty much agree, guys, out there. Let's see. Garrett Hall, cheap set of frog togs sprayed with Scotch Guard. Spray me a fire hose and I'll be dry. I hear you, buddy. I don't know. I've had some frog togs. The only bad thing I don't like about them is they rip easy. They cut. They break. Mark?
I've had bad experiences with frog togs. I've had 2 different frog togs.
What about you, Brian?
Yeah, I've had one pair before. Same thing. I didn't really care too much for it.
See, Jack Tibbins just yelled out Gruden's. I'm not familiar with that brand, Jack. You have to fill us in on that. Mark, you're shaking your head. Tell us about it.
Oh, they're new. I've heard of them, but they're brand new.
Okay.
And there's a one that somebody ain't mentioned yet, but it's really, really expensive. And I room with Eric Sadiki in Oklahoma, and it's Bucks and Bass, I think. There's several other pros sponsored by Bucks and Bass or something like that, and it's a really, really expensive rain suit. But the NRS that like Matt Ball mentioned,
right,
sidewinder suit, that would be a really way to go for kayakers, like where you're sitting in the seat and the seat gets wet, and I think where you're touching and it absorbs it. You know what I'm saying?
That's the issue I had.
Yeah, so like frog togs, that's what'll happen. Like if you stood up all day and you're not touching something, you might be okay. But wherever you're touching something, it lets it come through the seams or whatever, just the way it repels the water. But a sidewinder suit it's pretty much just a complete wader system, ain't it? I mean, that's the way I understand it.
Yeah. See where Travis Harper on here said I can recommend not to get the North Face rain gear. Soaked through after 3 hours. Anything Gore-Tex, real deal. Andrew Hitchcock jumped on and said NRS dry suit. Tyler Workman jumped on and said Gore-Tex is what I bought my guys in the military. It works well. Yeah, well, I'm a military guy, and I can tell you Gore-Tex does work well, but Gore-Tex stuff is triple and quadruple insulated. It's got layers of Gore-Tex.
Gore-Tex is actually not a brand. Like they gotta pay for the Gore-Tex material. It's actually a real thin layer.
It's a membrane that goes on top of clothing.
You can get really thin Gore-Tex rain suits.
Yes. There's another company that I don't know if it's still in business. It was similar to Gore-Tex. It was called Simitex. They used to make a lot of boots and stuff like that. They got into the rain gear stuff about 10, 12 years ago. The only reason I know is that my former sister-in-law used to work for them and did a lot of sewing for them. Would travel back and forth. They were a German brand, but they were high quality. I don't know if they're stateside or not.
I've never heard of them.
Well, it's really, and it's like you said, Mark. Gore-Tex is a membrane, so Gore-Tex is like is a patent. It's a material that goes on a material to make it waterproof, and that's the same way that Simitex is. So yeah. Anyway.
The Gore-Tex is just so durable. I mean, it's really expensive. I mean, it probably adds $150 or more just to a suit, just having it on there.
Well, I have to say, Mark, you hit it on the head earlier. When it comes to your outer garments, price doesn't matter. If you're going to be into what we do, go out week in, week out, spend $400 or $500 and get something quality that you can use for 2 or 3, 4 years. I mean,
you could look for sales, you know what I'm saying, to get high quality gear, or find like what I did.
Yeah.
They were getting rid of it because it was ugly.
Yeah.
I wasn't selling.
Before our Cabela's came in down in Charleston, y'all remember the old Gander Mountain? I got a good Gander Mountain suit. It's still. I wished I would have wore it. I had my pants. I had the bibs, and then I had a light thin Gore-Tex jacket because it was 60 degrees. It wasn't really cold, and I had a hoodie underneath it, and then a shirt, and everything got soaked. But like with one of the comments we were talking about here earlier, I didn't have a hood. I had a big old wide brim straw hat on. So the water just ran through my hat, down my back of my neck. I believe that's how I got pretty soaking wet. So, guys, we'll take a break and then we'll come back, wrap up. You guys can give me some more thoughts on your tournament experience, what you're looking forward to on the Elk River, and will Mark win the Elk River? That is the question. And how do we sabotage him so he doesn't? That and more when we come back.
Payne Outdoors, straight talk, an outdoor product handler, custom soft plastic paint. Check out our reviews and products at our website, payneoutdoors.com.
Feel-free kayaks, something for everyone. Pedal, paddle, or power. We can outfit you to meet your needs. For more information, visit feelfreeus.com.
All kinds of kayak accessories such as motor mounts, anchor systems, and other track-based items to make your time more enjoyable on the water. Visit their Facebook page, search Yak Gadget.
Dugan Brothers Custom Tackle specializes in jigs and Ned-style lures. Brothers who know what it takes to put fish in the boat. Check out their Facebook page. Search.
All right, guys, we're back. We're almost 40 minutes in tonight's show. Got Mark Edwards and I got Brian Kennedy in the background. The first part of the show, we went over some wet weather gear. So we got Jack Tibbins on here. Said he's new to bass fishing. Been around the years in the commercial fishing industry. Outstanding, Jack. Hope you, if you're in West Virginia, you need to come look us up, do some fishing with us, and maybe you can help us sabotage Mark. So anyway, let's get Mark and Brian back on the show. Hey fellas, you're back. Welcome back. For you're just joining us, to the left with the wooded view, we have Brian Kennedy, and to the right, with all the secret baits and the check in the background, we have Mark Edwards. Guys, thanks for hanging out with us today on the Rusty Hook, and we appreciate you telling us about your efforts here 3 days ago on Summersville Lake, how you guys finished first and second, and your tips, tricks, and techniques that you used to do that. So let's talk a little bit about our upcoming tournament on the Elk. Before that, Brian, you're going up to the Hobie event with me in July, right? You're going to the Hobie Susquehanna. Mark, did you sign up for that? You not going? Okay. All right. I got a campground up there. I can't remember the name of it. It's that ferry campground. I saw a lot of the guys were going there, so I got a space right next to Brian Butcher. We dragged the camper up there and spend the week, make a small vacation out of that trip. What's your plans with that, Brian?
I'm not sure yet. Still got to look into a place to stay. I should probably do that sooner than later. Usually I have to look at Airbnbs or something.
I got you.
Whenever I travel.
I'm sure it's a long river, so if you find you a spot that you want to concentrate and fish on, you can probably find you something to stay, and then sort of chart your travel to and from the check-in and go from there. So, Elk River.
Yeah. Know nothing about it.
I've already started doing my research on it because I've never been there around that campground. So, Elk River's coming up. Now, Mark, do you have any tournaments you're going to be doing between now and then?
Yeah. I got a bass boat tournament, and I haven't started my bass boat since October 2020. So I paid my dues, and I got it's a fundraiser tournament, and which I've done it every year except last year. But I finished fourth. Four times in this thing. I finished second. So
man, I hate it.
I got my number, and I'm really going for the win on this.
I was gonna say I hate it for them because when you fish with a chip on your shoulder, man, you're hard to be around. You know,
I'm excited for it this weekend, but I don't have near the experience on Bluestone as I've done. Like the last 3 or 4 years, I might get a couple days on it a year.
Right.
You know, I mean, I don't have. I know the largemouth fishing ain't as good as what it has been, is what I'm hearing. But I was down there the other day. I actually got a Mega Live now. I got it working last week, and the second time I had it out, I went to Bluestone for like 2 hours a day. I got it working, and but I think the live imaging can help you in certain situations, but in a lot of situations it can hurt you too. And for me right now, I can't. I see fish swimming, and I don't know what type of fish they are, and they won't be still. And it's really neat. But anyhow, I got Bluestone this weekend, the boat tournament, and then next Tuesday after work, I'm heading to Smith Lake, Alabama for Bassmaster Kayak Series. It'll be their fourth open event of the year, and I'm sitting really good in angler year in that one. I'm in third right now, but there's probably like 5 of us that has a shot at it. You know, the angler of the year, and it's going to be really hard to win the angler of the year with 5 guys.
Well, I think all I can say is they better watch out. If you're going down there and you're angry, you're going to fish well. If you want it,
I think it's going to set well. Smith is going to set well with me, but and it's a good time of year. I mean, they just got off the beds, or they still might be some spawning down there, which is fine with me. I mean, they're still probably shallow or something, but there's only like 5 public boat ramps on the whole lake, and it's got a lot of miles of shoreline on the lake. You know what I'm saying? It's really big,
right?
But narrow. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like a 20-some, 30,000 acre Stonewall Jackson. You know, I mean,
oh wow,
that's what it reminds me of.
Okay. Now that'll fall in. That'll fish into your strengths because I know you like to fish around wood and stuff. So.
Yeah, I mean it's going to be docks and rocks, and you got spotted bass. Spotted bass will probably win, but I'm not. You know, you just never know. It's a one-day event, so we'll have to go and see. And I use a Torpedo. You know, you asked me about my rig.
Yeah.
And I use that Titan, and that is such a huge access, you know, helps me out. I know you've got a motor now.
I do.
You probably noticed how the hands-free deal.
Yep.
And just, you know, you get to cover so much more water, and it's easier on you. It makes it more enjoyable to me. That's why I like it.
Oh, I got to thank Brian.
Wearing yourself out.
Yeah, I got to thank Brian there. He sent me up to Morgantown, to Sportsman Emporium, and I picked up an NK180 up there. I just picked it up from Joe Sterrett yesterday. I drove up after work to Fairmont and picked it up from him. He was working on a mount for my Big Fish 103, so I can still use my pedal drive when I'm not using that motor to get to a spot, and then once I get there, I can drop that pedal drive down and stay in there and save my batteries. Yeah, I use that Bixby J2, and I like it. The only thing I don't like about it is it's just a little slow. My top speed is 3.9 miles per hour in my Moken 12. But I mean, that ain't bad. Brian, what are you getting with your NK 180?
Oh, I don't even have one. I just have pedal drive.
Oh, okay. I thought you had an NK 180 too. Okay, my bad.
Yeah, whenever I was in there looking at the bona fides, and then I saw your post, and I think I just saw them really a week ago.
Sweet. I appreciate that. Marky, what are you getting? What are you getting in your Titan with your Torpedo?
4.5. It's not. It's actually. If you follow Jeff Little, I mean, he's done a test on every boat that they put a Torpedo on, and the Titan's some of the slowest boats because they're really big and wide. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And they're made to have a pedal drive in them, and that was one of the negatives where you're pushing your boat, you're pushing your kayak, the water likes to splash up in there.
Yeah, I got you.
Steve Gunner's got his fixed. I need to seal it off, but I do occasionally still use my drive. So.
I got you. Yeah, I mean, that would be the benefit. I mean, if you had a long haul somewhere and you knew that Torpedo was going to be stretched to the limit, you just want to use it to and from, and then you got your pedal drives to fish, to move around in your locations to fish. So.
Yeah. But I like to stage my rods up there, and the way the natives said with the drive in there, with the pedal drive, you can't really stage rods up there. You maybe put one up there or something.
Yeah, I'm going to have to catch you when you're out fishing one day and just look at how you got those 12 rods all staged up. You need to get them side stagers on the sides of your boats where you can put 3 and 3 or 4 and 4.
I'm in this stuff all the time. I mean, that live the other day got more in the way than it. I mean, I never did. I looked at it every now and then, but one deal with the smallmouth too up there. On a rainy day, a smallmouth is. We were up there at the spawn time of the year too. The water temp was 65 degrees.
Yep.
So that told me, and it'd been warm all week. So that told me they want a bed. The only thing on their mind was bedding, laying eggs. So that's why I targeted the areas that I targeted, because they were set up there ready to make a bed. But anyhow, with the water level fluctuating, it kind of. I don't think they were actually on a bed. But.
No, I agree. I think they were getting there. They were staging. But like you said, you caught 2 or 3 fatties that were still full of eggs. So.
I think I had 8 fish that was over 14 inches, and they were all females, 8 or 9. I mean, I caught most of them all by 9 o'clock. Yeah. And then I moved the area. I moved a little bit of area there, and I didn't get bit for a while. And then at 11:20, I looked at the game and realized the water was coming up so fast. So I think what happened was I was still throwing shallow, and the fish were actually back off, a little deeper than what I ended up finishing today and catching a couple on was a Carolina rig.
I got you.
I actually rigged the Carolina rig. I mean, this is an old carrot stick. It tells you how old this rod is.
Oh, yeah.
It's 10 years old. This is a retired setup. I never used this. The last time I used it was at Summersville Lake.
Okay.
But when I got a Carolina rig on a spinning rod, I got I think they're 5/16 weights, but whatever, 2 5/16 weights, just a little over a half, I guess. So I roughly got a half inch, weight on there.
Is that 2 beads? Yep.
Yeah, and then I caught them on this little rage bug.
Nice.
Rage bug.
Okay.
But this is actually the one I caught them on, but it's tore up here at the top. So I didn't dig through my bag when I caught the last one. And I had these they were easy access. You know how they like flukes up there in Summersville most of the time.
Yeah.
This is a newer little fluke deal. I don't know if you can see it, but it's the live tech stuff. But see, Strike King makes it too.
Okay.
Actually, the live tech isn't actually Z-Man pays for it.
Right.
Whatever. The Strike King is used for years. But this was called a little Z2 or something. So it's like a mini fluke. I mean, That's only a 2-aught hook in it. It's really small.
Beautiful.
But
Beautiful.
the only thing I ended up catching on it was a walleye. But I'm sure if the water collar was right, I would have killed him on that.
I would say right now, where the water is settling, the weather's a little bit nicer, that would be the ticket, especially Hominy Creek, where those rocks it flows out. The area that I fished, I know if you throw a white fluke with the little chartreuse lines in it, if you throw it back in there and you work it around those rocks, it stages from 4 to maybe 10 feet, but the rocks are jagged. I know y'all been back in there, so they can set in those stages in those rocks as you're throwing it in and around them. They'll just come out there hard. My last fish, I caught, right at the edge of the boat. A smallmouth came out of nowhere and crushed a Z-Man, one of those little finesse minnows, the real thin ones, and crushed it right at the boat. It surprised me. It actually surprised me. I'd already turned my head, was getting ready to pull it out of the water to flip it again, and my line went down. And I'm like, oh, okay. But yeah, so let's change topics here. We got a few minutes left. Elk River. Any sections that you guys think will be predicted to win?
Upper above the lake is cut off, right?
I don't know. I don't know what Greg's got in store for this time.
It's almost all posted now. The only place you can put in is the bridge, and the rest of it's all posted.
So yeah,
I know we had a joint with Plumley and Mountain State last year. You know, Plumley's crew and Mountain State. Well, there's a mountain mission tournament, and they had an off limit because it dominates. That place it's unreal up there.
Yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't get fished nearly as much as the rest of it below the dam. So
it's really hard to access.
Yes.
But it's all posted now, so I would, if it ain't off limits, I'd go ahead and knock that off limits because the only time I've ever floated it was in our event 3 years ago. There were 6 people floated it. And we were 4 out of the top 4.
That was Brandon, you, LJ, and Harper, I believe.
That was way before my time. It was Brandon, Wade, Blaine, and me.
Okay.
But I don't think Brandon finished up there. Wade. I think Wade won it. Blaine was second. I was third. I'm not sure who was.
I know Brandon Walmsley.
Brandon fourth.
Brandon Walmsley is the guy I'm thinking of. He would him and LJ and those boys that are from back up in that area. They know it, so they fished a lot. They would win tournaments back there. Or place in the top 5.
They haven't fished much in the last few years, though.
No, they're young and in love and trying to have families and careers and jobs and stuff. They ain't like you, Mark. They don't love. Their first love isn't fishing. Hey guys,
is the lake in limits? I mean, can you fish the lake?
Yes, pretty much. The lake is in limits as far as I know, and everything below it to I guess Charleston should be in play. We'll have to go look. So, but I'm pretty.
I'll fish the lake.
Yeah.
I'll fish the lake in June. I'll fish the lake. I mean, the lake would be horrible if I would think in July, but June. I have to look at the dates and see what date is it in June.
I haven't even bothered to look. Say that again.
I couldn't hear you.
I thought it was sometime within the first week, but I'm not.
Oh well, that would be good. Yeah, that would be good.
The lake would be a better option there. I mean, the lower elk is really good. I mean, the river fishing can be tough during June. They go, their post-spawn deal and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It can be really tough.
Well, what
I fished New River quite a bit in June. I've had some rough trips.
Well, I know you've done well on the elk in the past. When I was the managing director, I handed you a few checks and trophies. So, what tips, tricks, or techniques would you recommend to a newbie?
Man, a Ned rig, dude.
Daggone it, Brian.
I throw a little Ned rig, and he's like, I don't know how to catch big fish on a Ned, but I don't know, it works out.
Brian, we tried, buddy. We tried.
Yeah.
We tried to get a secret out of him, but he threw the Ned rig at us.
I'm serious. I mean, I ain't
Hey guys, about time for us to wrap up this show. Brian, thank you for making your first visit to the Rusty Hook Kayak Fishing Podcast. Mark's been on several times, and I'm hoping that you guys will come back on and we can do what we love to talk about, and that is just talking about fishing and maybe grow the sport and share some knowledge to some people out there that may be checking out the show. So you guys have a great evening, and I appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right, man. So, Season 2, Episode 22 is about wrapped up here. We are spending our time here at the tractor bar. I'll show you guys here real quick. The scene here. We got let me get the Discord screen off the window here. Oh, wait, I gotta have it on. Hold on. I need to turn my video on. I'm all jacked up. This is Dennis, baby. All right, again, great show tonight, Mark, Brian. Thank you for coming on, guys. Get on this thing, make some comments. Tell us what you guys wear on your exterior leather layers and the interior layers that you use, so that when you peel off a jacket, you're still somewhat waterproof. Love to hear your feedback on that. Again, Season 2, Episode 22, and we just talked about wet weather clothing. Appreciate you guys hanging out with us. Time to go drink a few couple cold ones here at the tractor bar. God bless you guys. Have a great day.